Hi guys, this is a quick update from the Tooker Tapes project. My name's Kelly, as you probably know. I'm just going to share with you a tiny little clip from today. This is a little clip from the Lost Document Campout on the Alberta Legislature steps in the fall of 2002. The piece is going to pick up with Tooker explaining the brilliance of flying by the seat of your pants and not really having a plan with regards to activism. And then he goes on for a couple or 3 minutes and gives a breakdown in history of climate talks and the politics behind it and where we're at and where we were 23 years ago with the Alberta government still, and to this day still, trying to block any meaningful action on climate change. So please do enjoy this. Give us your feedback on this project. I'm going through 600 hours of tapes from and by Tooker, primarily from the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of stuff. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.
Well, nobody knows the plan, and there's real value in not really knowing what you're doing, because then security and the other side can't stop you from doing it because nobody knows, right? But it kind of evolves. So, I mean, since they're doing this evil stuff inside here, I think at the very least, and it's discussed, oh, there's somebody doing a stand-up, we should go talk to them. Look, I mean, here's what's going on. Like the climate of the planet, you have 3,000 scientists of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They've been meeting since, in 1992, 10 years ago, Canada joined the nations of the world down in Rio de Janeiro at the Earth Summit. And out of the Earth Summit, thousands and thousands of delegates, front page news, global concern for the environment. Out of the Earth Summit came two commitments by the world community. One was to address the problem that biodiversity is disappearing on the planet. And the second was to address the climate crisis, which everybody agreed 10 years ago had to be addressed, and it would take a global response. Well, the countries of the world have been talking and negotiating and discussing and dithering for 10 years. And now finally, the world is this close to adopting this international protocol, the Kyoto Protocol. And what it takes for this to become international law is for 55 countries to sign up and who represent 55% of industrial emission levels of 1990 levels. Okay? And once you reach that level, that grouping of nations, the Kyoto Protocol becomes international law. And what's missing now is Russia, and Russia will sign because they get significant benefits from the Kyoto Protocol. Then you need one more country, and the whole thing becomes international law. And what's missing is either Poland or Canada. So why is it important to ratify the Kyoto Protocol? Well, the global climate is going wonky. Okay, we're seeing very unstable and extreme weather around the planet. The insurance industry is freaked out about it, and they're lobbying hard for Kyoto to be adopted because the impacts on their bottom line of all these extensive claims for damages is really hurting the insurance industry, especially the reinsurance industry. You have companies like Munich Re that are really worried about climate change and are pushing hard for ratification of Kyoto. So you have the climate. The global climate is changing dramatically. Things like the Arctic ice pack is melting. So it's tough for polar bears now to get out on the ice and go hunting for seals because the ice isn't there for as long, say on Hudson's Bay, and they're not eating as much. So you have nations around the world who are saying, yes, we have a crisis problem, and from that crisis we're realizing the opportunity to evolve and to change and to invest in the alternatives. And that's happening in many nations around the world. Here in Canada, the federal government has said that the federal government will sign the Kyoto Protocol, and they will join the nations of the world to do the right thing, to protect the climate. In Canada, you have one province that's saying, no, we're going to stop Canada from signing the Kyoto Protocol. We're going to take the government of Canada to court. We're going to fight tooth and nail to put the brakes on this process because we don't like what it does to the Alberta energy industry, is really what it boils down to. So I say it's evil what's going on inside here because in my estimation, the decision makers, the members of the Legislative Assembly, I think there are 83 of them, a majority of them are committed to again dragging on and delaying and deferring action to reduce the risk of climate change. I say it's evil because if there was a fire across the street here and people were saying, hey, let's go fight the fire, and you had a group of people saying, no, we're not sure if that fire is really I don't know if it's a serious fire, or maybe we can't even put it out, or, just kind of stood around and actually blocked people from taking action to put out that fire. That's evil. When lives are lost, when ecosystems are destroyed, when untold hardship is visited on the people of Bangladesh from flooding, from droughts in Alberta, people losing their employments, their livelihoods because of inaction,